All right, so welcome back everyone. It's almost the end of November and we started up this Woodmaster 4400 outdoor wood boiler back, I believe it was the first week of October. And at the time, I had a whole bunch of wood over here. I had this whole section full of wood. Well, that wood is now gone. It's been turned into ashes and heat. And today I want to bring in some of the IBC totes that I have outside, bring those in and line those up in here, and then start using up that wood. So I've got the carry some. Yes, I'm calling it a carry some because it's not really, I don't think, can be considered a carry all, since I don't have any racks and slots to put all kinds of stuff on there. So I'm just going to call it a carry some. I loaded up a couple bigger chunks of that hackberry, which is really heavy. I put that on the back for some ballast because I want to be able to drive as far in as I can with these totes on the forks. And then what I'm going to end up probably having to do is actually push one of them in with the other one. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to get three of them in there just because of the angle that I have to try to get the tote off of my pallet forks. I've got this old foundation of the building sticks up. And I thought about cutting it out so I could just drive right in, but maybe down the line, but for now I just left it. And so here are the three totes I'm going to take in, are these first three right here. I've got the forks moved a little bit closer together so that way I can come in and pick up the tote from this end. Being that this side is cut open, I want that facing out and facing the boiler. So that's the plan. I'm going to try to get these three totes to fit into the woodshed. Might only get two, not sure, but either way, I will have to set one down and then probably push it in with the next tote. And we'll see. We'll see how this goes. And I don't need these tops in the shed. All right, I think I'm going to have to lift this one up, take it out, and then come in from this side. All right, I got one in. I did, however, make a little nick pulling back the loader, or the arms of the loader and the forks, so I did catch that. But I think if I get this next one now and push that in and then do the same thing, kind of like tip it down, pull it back, and let it drop. So there's one. All right, I got about 1.5 feet left there, and down here, I should have enough room to get one more tote in here. All right, we are in with 3 totes, and we are tight against the wall. I still have enough room to get by, to walk out, and yeah, that worked out pretty good. It's a little tricky dropping the forks down at the right angle to be able to pull them out and then drop those totes down, but it all works out. So you're probably thinking all that wood that I had in here was quite a bit to burn through in a little over a month, month and a half, almost 2 months. But I did have a few issues with the Woodmaster when I first started it up. For the first couple of weeks, I was having, the water was going too high on the temp. It was boiling over. It was just, let me show you what was wrong. So I had replaced my blower, and I also replaced the little flap on top of the blower. And for whatever reason, when I first put it on, it was getting, I was having days where it would just burn really hot, and I was going through a lot of wood. And I started watching this thing, and I came out here and I started lifting it up and dropping it. And I would find that every so often this thing would stick open about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch. And that would continue to allow air to be pulled in to make the fire burn hotter. Well, the problem was on this new flapper, this little eyelet right there, the little lobe that the spring attaches to, this thing was facing the other way. So this end was that way, and the lobe was over here. And you can see on the old one where that lobe is pointing at 9 o'clock. So it was the opposite. And what was happening is, with that little lobe being turned the other way, the spring was getting caught on that little screw or that little rivet right there. So that was keeping it just held open a little bit. But anyway, I went online, went on YouTube, watched a couple videos on replacing that solenoid, and then one video I watched, they mentioned that. They said, make sure that that little lobe of where the spring attaches is pointing over between the 2 screws that hold down the flapper. I came out here, I checked it, and it was the opposite. So then I manually lifted that thing up and dropped it a few times, and sure enough, every so often it would get stuck, stay open. So that's why for the first couple weeks that I was burning, I was actually going through way more wood than I probably should have, because the fire would just keep burning. And like I said, I had multiple times I'd come out here and there was water all over the floor that had boiled over on the top. I even had my that little green light right there, that's the low water indicator. And if that's ever off, that means you're low on water. I had that happen a few times, and I never, in the 8 years I've had this, I've never had that issue. I've never had it boil over once. I've never had the water get low. The problem was that little flapper and the way that that spring was connected to it.
Hey,
so, hey!
How's it going? I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna...
All right, so I'm back. I just got had to take a slight little break. Somebody had stopped by and they wanted to buy all of the wood that was out in the stand, which was like 4 stacks, and they wanted to buy 4 bundles. So they wanted $100 worth of wood. But instead of emptying everything out of the stack, I just went with the tractor and filled up the old carry-all bucket, haul it up there. So they took 2 stacks and then a bucket full. So now I'm back. Had to do a little customer service, moving some wood out. But anyway, I forget where I'm with that now. But yeah, so the boiler was burning a little inefficient. I was having those boilovers. I got that fixed. Everything's burning great now. Got 3 totes in here. I've got 4 more out there. So after these are gone, I'll bring 3 more in. And then the one thing I just wanted to quick touch on that I found with these IBC totes, I think it's going to work best for me to always put my personal burning wood in the totes. So I don't think I'm going to load any more totes up with recreational wood for like the roadside stand or bundles, just because if I take a tote up there to fill up the stand and I only need like 1 or 2 spots filled, 1 or 2 bins, that's not a full tote. So it makes no sense to haul totes back and forth. Here, I know I bring them in, they're not going anywhere till they're empty. And so I think for my personal burning use and for wood for the boiler, these totes are going to be, anytime I fill the totes now, it's going to be with wood for myself. All right, so that'll do it. I got to go actually fill up the rest of the roadside sand because it's pretty much empty. There's 1 stack left in the front. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.